Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to another episode of Top 5 Poses, the series with some of the sickest figures and even sicker poses. Last time we took a look at Majin Vegeta, one of the figures in the line with some of the highest expectations placed on it, and although it fell short of those expectations, we tried to salvage his Saiyan pride with a few flashy poses. Anyways, today I do however have a treat for you guys. We are finally taking a look at what we can do with the ever so popular Goku Black. In this case, it's the 2019 event exclusive Goku Black in Super Saiyan Rose form. If you haven't checked out my review on this guy, be sure to do that after this, but I think it's safe to say there are mixed opinions surrounding this figure, but for the most part, it's mainly to do with preference in relation to the original. At the end of the day, this figure is by no means bad. So without further ado, let's take a look at the top 5 poses for the 2019 event exclusive Goku Black. Hey guys, if you're brand new to the channel, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and definitely ring a ding ding that bell notification button. It helps the channel grow and it helps me bring you guys a lot more. Alright guys, so with this Goku Black figure, we have the rare situation in which it actually comes with an aura effect. And in doing so, it blows the door wide open regarding the possibilities we can hit pose-wise here. Now I know, there's no base form head that comes with this one, so it's technically not the end-all be-all top 5 poses for a Goku Black figure. But still, if you're like me, you probably pose them in the Rose majority of the time anyways, so let's get into it. So first up is arguably quite a vanilla pose for most characters, but for this event exclusive Goku Black, it's actually elevated a little by its accessories, and that is a little pose I like to call the "Isn't This Beautiful" pose. Straight up, no pun intended, this is as simple as it gets when trying to think of a pose that isn't just the figure standing straight up, but rather floating in front of the aura. Now I do think this pose looks best with the smirk, however at the risk of most of these poses using that, I'll also show the option with the neutral face as well. I think one faceplate Tamashi should have added was a sort of insane looking smirk as well, and you'll see why later as we make our way up this posing list. But yeah, this pose gives you a shot to use other more non-conventional hands, like the sort of instant transmission hands if you desire. On top of that, you can opt for this way of posing the arms, or you can just have both of them a little bit more further down and relaxed, all depending on what your vibe and style is. Coming in at number 4 is a fairly simple yet unexpectedly elegant pose that kicks most plain old vanilla poses right in the rear end, and that is a martial arts stance pose. Drawing heavy inspiration from fighters, I think this is a pose that is very well suited for displays that just have a crap ton of things going on in them already. It's also a very good entry level pose for those just learning how to finesse joint positions and whatnot, because there isn't a whole lot going on with the lower body. Yet the angles between Goku Black's head, arms, and torso give this pose just enough edge to offer your viewers a little bit more intrigue. Goku Black's stance is also quite different than the majority of characters who have figures in this line too, so that itself is another big plus, and that'll help this figure stand out in your display despite its simplistic nature. Now of course, this is one pose on the list that doesn't fit quite as well with the aura effect in my opinion, but you could definitely still go that route if you wanted to. Sort of a last little moment of calm before he dashes off into a fight, I guess. To top it off, the smirk just puts the icing on the cake here, really showcasing Goku Black's arrogance and narcissism. All in all, this pose is one I had a lot of fun messing around with and wasn't a pain to get going. Alright, so right smack dab in the middle of this list is Goku Black performing a move that gets around like herpes in the Dragon Ball finishing move community, and that is the Kamehameha, or at the risk of sounding a little off, the Black Kamehameha. Now granted he doesn't come with the effect part that the original does, we can still pull this pose off, and what's more is that it really gives you an opportunity to make a lot of different faceplates work here. Personally, I think I'd go with the smirk again, just because I love that expression so much, but of course, you can definitely use the angrier or even the neutral face here as well. Now one thing I like about this pose is that you also have the choice of having him on the ground or in the air, both of which present different considerations as far as the body and legs go. Of course, on the ground, you'll get into a more of a lower squat anchoring stance setup. Don't have him in a forwards dashing pose charging a Kamehameha because it just doesn't work as well, peeps. But just like any other Kamehameha pose, you can have him facing any which way and almost get the same kind of awesomeness all around. So I think I have the most honorable mentions for a figure in a while now for Goku Black. So my first honorable mention goes to posing Goku Black with Trunks from the Goku Black arc. Kind of a given, and I mean, while I don't have this figure yet, I think I'd be most tempted to have them clashing energy swords. I mean, that effect part is just too tempting not to mess around with. My second honorable mention goes to posing this guy with either Super Saiyan Blue Goku or Vegeta. Now my Goku's in my pile of loot at Big Bad Toy Store as we speak right now, but I mean, taking shots straight from the anime or manga would be awesome here. Especially posing Vegeta getting murked by that energy sword, or having Super Saiyan God Vegeta with Goku Black. Now third up, of course, is with regular Zamasu if we see his release. Not much to go on about here, it's pretty self-explanatory. My fourth honorable mention will probably get faded out once Merge Zamasu comes out, and that's pairing him with Vegeta Blue. Even though they never fought, it's kind of a fun what if moment, and again, energy sword clashes are a thing. Fifth up is kind of out of nowhere really, and it's just kind of a fun what if again, and that's with Goku Black facing off with Broly. I think this setup is pretty fun and just cool to mess around with, and talk about a humbling moment for Goku Black. My last honorable mention here is this Saiyan Power Rangers kind of pose. Every Saiyan coming together to create that different variety of Super Saiyan power-up transformations, because why not? So coming in at number 2 is a blanket category once more, and they are the aerial poses. Goku Black is a character whom I think we actually see spend most of his time airborne. It makes sense with himself reflecting on how he's a god and he's always looking down at others all the time, but the slimmer profile he sports compared to the regular Goku's mold actually kind of accentuates the kicks, dashes, and punches a lot better than we're used to seeing when you get this guy on a stand. Not to mention, now you can get a little bit more creative with how you use those aura effects, and I'll elaborate more when you see the number 1 pose, but really at the end of the day, like I mentioned on previous episodes in this series, I think the aerial poses are an underused category that you should actually take the time to finesse, as they offer a lot of visual satisfaction with the least amount of financial drain. Coming in at number 1, I have Goku Black just abusing the crap out of the Energy Blade effect. I just love this thing so much. I wish the Scythe was part of the package, but of course it's a third-party effect. Now there are a couple of different options I have here, and the first I was alluding to earlier is a pose that would really benefited from a smirk face with a crazier look in the eyes, just to replicate Goku Black actually forming the Energy Blade coming out of his hand. I think this pose is sick, and again, if you have the right lighting going on, this pose is just a monster in terms of visual satisfaction and just sheer Dragon Ball villain craziness. I do think it works a lot better with the aura, but you can go without it as well. Now speaking of the aura, the other option with the Energy Blade would be more of a dash, and who says you have to keep the aura upright? Think outside the box, guys. It's a dash, so why not throw the aura effect in there and have it represent what you're trying to portray? Is the aura effect perfect for this? Not necessarily. Does it still work? Hell yeah. To pull this one off requires a little bit more of your skill set, but once you get it going, you will not regret it. The only drawback is that it takes up quite a bit more space than any other pose in this list, but definitely has merit towards it. Alright guys, so there's my take on the top 5 ways to pose 2019 event exclusive Goku Black. It's an awesome figure overall, and just because the hair is translucent doesn't mean you still can't get some wicked poses out of the figure. Just to recap, I think if this figure did come with an insane looking faceplate as well as of course the Scythe, it would have been that much better. Let me know what you guys think of the poses, which ones you're going to try out, and also make sure you guys check out the top 5 poses Marvel Edition episode 2 when it drops, because if you're a fan of Black, you won't be disappointed. Anyways guys, you know what I always say, may the best of your todays be the worst of your tomorrows. Peace.